Alright, so, yeah, it's finally here. The Versus Imposter review, and I have a lot to say. A lot of it good. A few things bad, but overall, I just want to say this right now. Versus Imposter is amazing. There was so much effort put into every single inch of the mod's content. And I guess I should start by talking about the one thing that I think is universally good across the board with a couple exceptions. Or, well, one exception, that being Chewmate. The music is really good. Like, genuinely some of the best music I've ever heard out of any Friday Night Funkin' mod soundtrack. Every song fits the vibe of its week perfectly, and they're all just a genuine joy to listen to, from start to finish. It's just a really well put together soundtrack, and everyone who worked on it should be thoroughly proud of themselves. I mean, that goes for the entire mod as a whole, but like, the music is just so good. If I had to like name a favorite, it would have to be Identity Crisis. Though overall, I think Pink's week is my favorite out of the bunch. And speaking of the story mode, I think the writing is really sharp. It's really well done. It's serious when it needs to be and funny most of the time. It has fun with itself, you know? It never feels like it's being overly grim or overly goofy. It takes things as seriously as it needs to, but it never once feels like it's being, you know, uber serious. Because Among Us is kind of a funny little game, you know? I especially love the way boyfriend and girlfriend are written. They're such gremlins, I love it. The writing on everyone is really sharp though, and I think Pink is my favorite. I really like Pink, can you tell? She's great. She's a fun character and she has a fun week. I like it a lot. She's good. We stand Pink. But the other characters aren't any slouch either. I love Green for being like a bit more subtle in his approach to his antics. I like how Red is like the starter villain and he just kills two people right in front of the entire crew and gets yeeted out of the airlock. Or wait, no, it was on Polis, so he got thrown into the lava. Well, you know what I mean. And I enjoy, like, one of the better weeks is definitely Gray's, which just completely leans into the horror angle, with Gray just being utterly terrifying. He's a fantastic villain, even if he doesn't get much screen time. And as for the gameplay aspect of it, well, actually, I should probably talk about the art. Art's really good. Genuinely, all the sprite work is fantastic. The characters are really expressive. The art is really well refined. There's no style mismatch across the board. Like, everything feels consistent. It feels like everything belongs, you know? But what about the gameplay? Well, I'm going to be honest, there are a few there are a few places where the charting is kind of, okay, well, it's not really the fault of the charting. There are stairs here and there, and I feel like the mod kind of overuses them a bit. But the note count in Green's week is utterly ridiculous. Like, seriously, what is that part at the beginning of Ejected? What the hell is that? By the end of Green's week, my fingers felt like they were going to fall off. And speaking of which, the week with yellow, white, and black was also really... It was just an endurance test, honestly. I was exhausted by the end of it. And defeat was just a slog. I literally just resorted to spamming via ghost tapping just to get through it because I wanted to experience the rest of the mod. I know that technically defeat is probably just like an optional thing, but it's part of the story mode, and I wanted to get through as much of the story mode as I could. Granted, I do need to stress that I'm not very good at Friday Night Funkin'. I am much more of a casual player than anything, so take anything I have to say about the difficulty of the mod with a grain of salt, but the charting is... It's fine, and there's a lot of fun parts. Like, the first couple of songs on Green's week are a lot of fun to play. They're challenging, but not too challenging. But there is some definite stinkiness here and there. And also, can I just... I'm gonna go back to the good stuff, because that's basically all of my complaints out of the way. First of all, there is so much extra content, and the existence of an actual progression system by way of, like, getting those jelly beans you get in actual Among Us, and then using them to unlock, like, skins that you can use in free play, and new bonus songs, is just absolutely amazing. There is so much bonus content. I haven't even gotten through all of it. I don't think I've even unlocked half of the bonus content. It's just that stuff with things to do, songs to play. And I do want to say, I am really impressed, because, like, we've had a lot of mods trying to have, like, massive updates. Oh, hi, Ginny. Hello, baby girl. My cat's here. We've had a lot of mods that try to have giant content updates and then they just crumble under the weight of their own expectations. Versus Sonic.exe is definitely the biggest offender in this regard. Saying that the V3 update was horribly mismanaged is an understatement. There was just way too much going on for the team to handle. I feel like Mistful Crimson Morning partially had that problem. I don't remember. I think there was something else going on under the hood, but the fact that Imposter V4 was able to come out with all this content and just have a completely clean release for its final update, because yes, this is the final update. I mean, I imagine they'll release, like, you know, bug fixes, but as far as, like, content updates go, I think this is the end, and I'm fine with that, because there's a lot here, and I'm really pleasantly surprised they pulled it off without stumbling over the final hurdle. They did really good. So, yeah, honestly, Versus Imposter might actually be one of my favorite things ever, just in general. Like, it feels weird to say that, like, it might be one of my favorite games ever, because technically it's a mod for a game, but at the same time, it's so feature complete that it feels like a game on its own. You know, it feels like an Among Us spinoff. It feels like it's an officially sanctioned Among Us Friday Night Funkin' crossover, if that makes any sense, which, I mean, Innersloth did provide, like, vocal samples for the Secret Week in the story mode, so, you know, for all I know, this could be officially sanctioned. But, yeah. No, Versus Imposter is really good. And despite my hang-ups about, like, the note count in a few places, I still had a great time all the way through, and I think the team deserves every ounce of praise they received for it. I think that's going to be all from me. I'll see you all next time. Stay safe out there, everybody. Goodbye.